So next, I'd like to invite Vicky, Germany. He's the president, Center for International Relations and Sustainable Development, but also he's the former president of the United Nations General Assembly and also former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Serbia. I know you have been running the Secretary General of the United Nations and end up the last 2 decades at the UN, the Guterres. So, but you are still young. You have a chance. So I'll hear from you. Vic, please.
Thank you very much, Henry, and thanks for all the excellent work that you've done over the past 10 years. Thanks for the invitation to this distinguished forum. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jeremić, and I know it's a very difficult name to pronounce, but I used to be in domestic and international politics. I'm no longer, and this gives me far more freedom to speak, which I'm going to use this time around, speaking about globalizations and challenges of globalization. Globalization used to be very simple, and the rules-based order essentially run and guaranteed by the United States was also simple. The first rule of that rules-based order was, here are the set of rules which everyone is expected to embrace and honor without exception, always, except from us, when we choose to break these rules because we see this fit. Well, this kind of world is no longer with us. Globalization is no longer that simple. It has become very complicated. It has brought us into, well, the conduct of the globalization over the past 20 years has brought us in a situation which we are now, and that is a situation of recession. And I do not refer to economic recession, I refer to geopolitical recession. And my opinion is that geopolitics is similar to economy in a sense that it is cyclical. It comes in cycles. The difference is that the cycle in geopolitics is much longer. And once you are in a recession like we are right now, I'm afraid it is going to stay with us for quite a while. In geopolitics, recessions tend to last for decades, and we are only in the first decade of our geopolitical recession. So I fear that we have not touched the trough of this recession yet. I think that there are 3 important monopolies that the U.S. rules-based order was based on. The 3 monopolies of the United States, which are all now very, very seriously challenged. The first monopoly was the monopoly on the use of force. It was only the United States that was supposed to use force, and regardless of whether there is a Security Council decision or no Security Council decision, and you can think of Yugoslavia, you can think of Iraq, you can think of other examples. But now this monopoly is very, very seriously challenged in Ukraine. Mr. Putin has challenged it, and I think that one of the reasons why there's such a strong opposition in the United States and, you know, and most of the U.S. allies when it comes to this war in Ukraine is that it is essentially a challenge of the monopoly. If Mr. Putin gets away with this, the monopoly will have been broken. Somebody else will have used the military in order to advance its national interest, with little regard to international law. In the past, this privilege was only reserved for the United States, and now others are starting to use it. Whether there are going to be more countries using it in the future remains to be seen, but it's certainly more likely as a result of the developments in Ukraine. The second one is the US dollar. And the monopoly of the US dollar is being used extensively right now in defense of the first monopoly. And some people here talked about sanctions. Sanctions didn't work in this case. And I think that one of the serious consequences of the current developments is weakening of the monopoly of the US dollar as a result of the war in Ukraine and the sanctions that manifestly failed in the case of Russia. And the third one is technological monopoly. Now, technological monopoly was broken. We sit in this country, which is one of the big challengers to the technological domination of the United States, and globalization of the future, I think, is going to be driven primarily in two axes, in two directions. One, the global transition to post-carbon world and economy, where China is going to have the lead. And the second one is artificial intelligence, where I expect, despite all difficulties that the United States is facing, that the United States is going to have a lead, which is, in my opinion, going to give rise to a certain balance. How to counter the continuation of American decline in all three fields that I had mentioned. When it comes to China, I'm just going to say two words, and that's how I'm going to end, and that is Sun Tzu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vic.